Welcome to the Standoff. Today we are comparing these two wheels right here, but not in the way that you might think. Instead of going over the design and structure of each of these wheels themselves, we're going to be focusing on their finishes. Now at first glance, you would probably say that both of these wheels are chrome, but that's not actually the case. One of these wheels is chrome and the other one is what's known as a PVD finish. And today we're going to be going over the differences between these two finishes and why you would maybe go with one over the other. I'm Gels, let's get started. In my opinion, the chrome look on aftermarket wheels is pretty much timeless. It looked good 50 years ago and it looks just as good today, but over time, we've realized that the chroming process is quite expensive, time consuming, and not to mention not very clean at all and not very environmentally friendly, which has partially led to the development of what is known as PVD, which stands for physical vapor deposition. This is a finishing process that is commonly used in many industries like aerospace and medical manufacturing and has recently, throughout the last decade or so, been applied to aftermarket wheels. The process starts with applying a base coat of paint to the wheel, typically a black or other dark color, and then metal vapor, which sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, is bonded to the wheel on top of that paint using a vacuum chamber. Now typically this metal vapor can vary from metals such as aluminum, zirconium, or even titanium in some cases. After all of that, the wheel is then hit with a clear coat to help protect everything, and it's on its way. And that gives you something like this wheel that we have right here, this Adhan wheel to my left. Now, if we take a look over at this Kansei Roku, this is a real chrome finish, which uses an electroplating process involving several chemical baths and deposits layers of metal like copper, nickel, and then finally chromium, which of course gives us this incredibly bright and shiny chrome finish. But like I mentioned before, chroming is not a clean process. It actually does have a lot of negative environmental impacts to it, which is why it's hard for wheel manufacturers to even find factories that even offer chrome plating anymore, and is why you have typically seen the PVD finishes become a lot more popular in the aftermarket wheel scene. Now visually, these finishes provide pretty similar looks. However, the PVD finish that you probably can notice tends to have a bit of a deeper look to it due to that base coat finish, where true chrome wheels will always have that really bright and shining look to them. Now, you might find as well that PVD finish wheels have a bit more of an orange peel or are more prone to orange peel depending on the manufacturer of the wheels. And this can be either because of the base coat finish that's put down first or the protective clear coat that is put on afterwards. It's also important to know that PVD opens up the option for different colored chrome finishes. So typically your hyper finishes or your black chrome finishes, more times than not, are some sort of PVD finish and not actually chrome. Now the main question we get asked about when it comes to these two types of finishes is, of course, how well do they hold up and able to protect itself from scratches and other things like that. But where chrome really starts to have its downfall is that over time, it's very prone to pitting and corrosion, especially if you live somewhere like Wisconsin that experiences some pretty harsh winters. We have salt on the roads, and if they start to pit and get moisture underneath that plating itself, they are going to start to flake, peel, chip, all that sort of stuff, and it's not going to be fun. Now PVD, on the other hand, even though the coating is technically much thinner compared to chrome, it's less prone to all of that pitting, flaking, and all of that. And one of the reasons is because they have the addition of that clear coat on top to help protect it. However, where some of these wheels start to have their downfall is that unfortunately, due to that same clear coat that's supposed to help protect it, some manufacturers have had issues with that clear coat starting to yellow or even peel away over time, which causes some other issues. Now, of course, no matter what finish wheels you have, you're going to want to make sure that they look clean, right? You want your wheels to look good. And when it comes to chrome wheels, it's definitely fair to say that they're going to be a little bit more of a high maintenance wheel and finish to keep clean. With chrome wheels, you're going to want to avoid things like harsh wheel cleaners, brake dust buildup, and most importantly, that moisture like we talked about before. And if you don't stay on top of cleaning these things, it can turn into a mess pretty freaking quick. Now what I would recommend if you do want to stick with real chrome wheels is to get them ceramic coated, which we can do for you if you order a set of wheels and tires through Martini Works. Helps keep them clean overall, keeps them protected, and it allows you to keep them clean a lot easier. Now, on the other hand, PVD finishes are much less maintenance, and you can treat them practically like any other painted wheel out there, which is going to be more practical for those of you that are putting these wheels on something that you daily drive. Cost-wise, chrome will always be much more expensive. Not a lot of factories offer it now. Like I said, it's a more expensive process to do, and that is going to, of course, be reflected in the overall cost of these wheels. PVD will always lean more towards the more affordable side when it comes to these types of finishes, simply because it can be done in larger quantities. It isn't as labor intensive, and it opens up more factories to be able to make these wheels. There isn't so much competition for it. So when should you consider going with chrome over PVD, or maybe PVD over chrome when it comes to your wheels? Well, it all comes down to how you use your car and how much time you want to spend on keeping your wheels looking clean and looking good. If you want to be a baller and you want to have real chrome and don't care about how much it takes to keep them clean and the attention to detail that you have to get them, by all means, chrome all the way. It's hard to beat the true chrome look, but maybe you are running these wheels on your daily. You live in a state that experiences those harsh winters. You don't want to pay hundreds of extra dollars for the cost of chrome. PVD might be the better option for you. Overall, as much as I do love a good chrome wheel and think it's kind of a flex to run them, PVD, I will say, does come out on top here when it costs to the cost, the longevity, and the usability of that finish and of those wheels. The good news is that the choice is still yours on whether or not you want some true chrome wheels or if you want to go with the PVD alternative. And of course, if you're looking for either of those types of wheels, you can check them out over at martiniworks.com. This has been the Standoff. Hopefully you learned a thing or two about some chrome and PVD finishes. But of course, if you have any questions, let us know down below.